Here's your video script paraphrased, with slight changes in word order while keeping the original writing and articulating style. Imagine this scenario. You awaken one morning, and she's there beside you. She embodies everything you've ever desired. Her scent on your sheets, the curve of her legs intertwined with your own, the gentle softness of her voice as she calls your name. You've triumphed, you've achieved it. She's undeniably yours. Yet, a subtle shift begins to unfold. She's colder now. Colder than she was yesterday. Colder than before you willingly gave her everything. Her laughter feels practiced, her touch distant. Her eyes no longer truly see you. They simply gaze through you. You perceive it, don't you? The gradual demise of your masculinity, the subtle draining of your very soul. And still, when you dare to bring it up, she dismisses it as trivial, claims you're imagining things, suggests. Perhaps you're just overly sensitive, but you're not imagining anything. You're confronting a terrifying realization, one that most men will spend their entire lives in denial of. She doesn't love you in the same way you love her. And this, my friend, is the forbidden truth that women fervently wish you wouldn't understand. Because once you truly grasp it, you'll never perceive them in the same way again. Arthur Schopenhauer did. He penetrated the veil. He stripped away the romance, the flowers, the fairy tales, and laid bare something primal, raw, and utterly ruthless concealed within feminine desire. Women are by nature meant to be the instrument of the propagation of the species, he penned. Everything in them is directed toward this end. To the majority of men, this sounds offensive, cold, even misogynistic. But pause, don't flinch, don't simply dismiss it. Strive to comprehend it. Schopenhauer wasn't mocking women. He was ridiculing the profound delusion men carry. The illusion that she loves you for your inner self, that she's loyal to your distinct personality, that she's enchanted by your poetry, your thoughts, your life's purpose. No, she is loyal to something far deeper, something ancient, something fundamentally biological. And if you choose to overlook it, you will inevitably become enslaved by it. And this is where the narrative darkens, because the instant you grasp what women are truly wired to desire, you cease attempting to impress them and begin to pose a far more perilous question. If she's not here for my soul, then what is her purpose here? Is it your status, your inherent strength, your genetic makeup? Is it your capacity to provide, to protect, and to dominate other men? Is it your utility? And what happens the moment you cease to be useful? Do you honestly believe she remains? This is the profound shadow Schopenhauer cast light upon, and it's precisely why most women scorned him for it. Not because he was wrong, but because he was too uncannily right. He compelled men to confront a reality that most are simply too weak to even consider. That romantic love, as we have been conditioned to believe in it, is a deceptive fabrication. A lie designed by nature to shackle the male spirit to the relentless demands of reproductive necessity. And this, my friend, is where Stoicism enters the fray, ready for battle. The Stoic does not despise women. He bears no resentment toward their inherent nature. Instead, he scrutinizes it. He accepts it, and then he transcends it. Because only when you perceive with clarity can you act with genuine freedom. You yearn for the love story, the mythical ideal, the cherished dream. But you must ask yourself, is it truly real, or is it merely enticing bait? And if it is simply bait, who benefits from your blindness? Who profits from your selfless devotion, giving her everything while she offers just enough to sustain your addiction? Schopenhauer wanted you to awaken, not to foster hatred, not to seek domination, but to finally discern the truth concealed beneath the facade. And the most terrifying aspect, the facade is so exquisitely beautiful, you'd rather remain in willing ignorance. The concealed problem and its psychological Philosophical underpinnings. Why do so many men steadfastly refuse to acknowledge this? Truth. Why do they cling stubbornly to the delusion, even as their hearts are shattered and their dignity slowly dissolves? Because the lie provides comfort. Because the truth is utterly devastating. You were raised to believe that love is sacred, that women are inherently nurturing, selfless, tender beings who seek profound connection with a man's soul. You were told that if you exhibit kindness, vulnerability, and emotional presence, you will inevitably be chosen. That if you offer your heart, she will guard it as something sacred. But Schopenhauer stood before that pervasive fairy tale and utterly shattered it with a single, forceful hammer blow. The man is the one who loves, and the woman is the one who is loved. In that solitary sentence lies the entire asymmetry. Men fall in love with the concept of love. Women fall in love with what a man represents. This is the hidden mechanism, the unspoken truth that most philosophical discourse cautiously circles, and most modern psychology adamantly refuses to admit. Her attraction to you is not about your essence. It's about your utility for her future prospects. Schopenhauer posited that women are not moral creatures in the same inherent sense as men. Not because they are inherently malicious, but because their biology doesn't reward truth. It rewards strategy. He termed it nature's cunning, an intrinsic system that compels women to exhibit short-term sweetness to achieve long-term survival. This isn't a condemnation, it's simply clarity. Because once you divest yourself of your projections, the poetry, the fantasies, the pervasive Hollywood hypnosis, you begin to perceive her as she truly is, not cruel, not angelic, but profoundly pragmatic. She selects, she seduces, she attaches herself only to what can secure her position. Her emotions aren't static. They are fluid, adapting to shifts in status, social proof, and male power. And her loyalty? It endures precisely as long as your perceived value does. Modern psychology, albeit couching it in softer terms, corroborates this. Evolutionary biologists like David Buss have demonstrated that women are, by default, hypergamous. They instinctually seek upward mobility in mating. They are biologically calibrated to scrutinize, filter, and test men for the most advantageous genetic and survival benefits. You've undoubtedly felt this in her inconsistency, in her sudden coldness after you opened up, in the way she just wasn't feeling it anymore. The moment your ambition seemed to falter, you were assured she'd remain for love. But she's wired to remain for security, be it emotional, physical, or social. And that's the hidden force, Mother Nature herself, employing female biology as a conduit to execute her relentless mission propagation at all costs. So when you lament, she changed. When you assert, she used me. When you declare, I gave her everything and she simply walked away. What you're truly articulating is, I mistook biology for destiny. Schopenhauer wasn't attempting to turn you against women. He was striving to redirect you away from illusion. He understood that once a man perceives women clearly not as goddesses, not as villains, but as biological agents of nature, he can finally escape the profound suffering that arises from misplaced expectations. This is precisely where Stoicism offers you a formidable shield. While the romantic man is often devastated by betrayal, the Stoic is fortified by stark realism. He doesn't demand loyalty from female nature. He demands loyalty from himself to truth, to purpose, to inner mastery. He comprehends what Epictetus taught. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whatever way they happen. This, my friend, is the authentic path to peace. And so the Stoic man ceases to demand that she love him in a way she is inherently incapable of. He stops performing. He stops pleading. He stops constructing his entire identity around being chosen. And instead, he begins to choose himself. Here lies the profound paradox. The instant you release the desperate desire to be loved by a woman for your true self, the moment you cease expecting her to comprehend your soul or bear your burdens, is the moment you begin to stand like a true man. Not embittered, not broken, but utterly uncheckable. Because now you no longer serve the myth. You discern the intricate mechanics, and in seeing them, you are finally free. But this newfound freedom is not without its cost. Because the moment you understand female nature as Schopenhauer did, the moment you perceive her smile and realize it isn't always rooted in genuine truth, but often in biological necessity, you will begin to perceive the world itself through a different lens. And that profound transformation, that unraveling of your cherished illusions, is merely beginning. Now you know. And once you know, there's no turning back. You cannot unsee the masks. You cannot unhear the lies you once whispered to yourself in the sacred name of love. You cannot forget the countless moments you yearned to be seen by someone who was, at their core, only ever seeking survival. It hurts. It should hurt because this isn't merely about women. It's about awakening from the most seductive illusion nature ever masterfully crafted, that your inherent value as a man lies in being chosen. But now, you don't beg to be chosen. You don't live to be adored. You don't build your entire life around her approval. You become the kind of man who confidently walks into any room and understands the game without ever needing to play it. You become the man who loves without succumbing to blindness, who leads without needing applause, who experiences suffering but does not collapse. This is where Stoicism and Schopenhauer powerfully converge into absolute clarity. You can love women, you can engage with women, you can even admire them, but you will never again be enslaved by the pervasive myth of romantic salvation, and that is the very kind of freedom they unequivocally don't want you to discover. Because a man who no longer requires a woman's approval is a man the system cannot manipulate. A man no woman can control. A man who lives by truth, not by fleeting temptation. So, here's your call to action. Stop relentlessly chasing her smile. Start mastering your own mind. Allow the pain you feel right now to reforge you into something colder, cleaner, and undeniably sharper. If this video caused your chest to ache, if something inside you feels broken, yet simultaneously alive for the very first time, leave a comment below with the words, "I see now." Not for external validation, but as a solemn signal to yourself that your days of begging, chasing, and pretending are finally over. Subscribe to this channel if you are truly ready to strip away every illusion modern life relentlessly sells you. Because this isn't about hating women. It's about seeing with absolute clarity and choosing your inherent power over fleeting fantasy. Women won't want you to uncover this truth, but once you do, they will never forget you.